Okay, I got a new toy a few days ago. I've been wanting to buy one of these now for quite some time. And this camera will do what no other Fuji will do, no other Nikon, no other Canon. And you know, it's a lot of the stuff like when you get into photography, someone that gets into photography, excuse me, they're like high-speed sync. Why is that important? I can take flash photography. Then they learn out what high-speed sync is, and they go, "Oh yeah, now I see where those awesome pictures were created." Obviously, you have to have the skills to be able to create awesome pictures, but you also have to have the tools to be able to do it. I mean, you can't carve a wooden boat with a knife and a fork. And you can't do high-speed sync flash photography without the tools. Now, high-speed sync flash photography, what people don't understand between it and genuine high-speed sync flash photography. See, this is the Fuji X100T. It is a rather expensive camera, but I finally found one in a deal, which is basically impossible. You never find these cameras for a deal. What the hell can this camera do that even the Fuji X-T2, which is about to come out, can't do it? The Fuji X-T1 can't do it. No other Fuji can do it. No Nikon can do it. No Canon can do it. Real high-speed sync flash photography. Oh, well, what do you mean by real? I don't know if you know exactly how high-speed sync flash photography works, but you saw a bunch of pulses there. Imagine that a whole lot faster, such that it looks like one pulse. People wonder why, if they have a really powerful speed light, that at maximum output in high-speed sync photography, they're not able to get that much power, that much reach. And the reason is because your speed light, doesn't matter if it's doesn't matter what it is, okay? It is pulsing out a bunch of light. I don't care what sort of triggers you use or what sort of speed light you use, it is pulsing the light. Real high-speed sync photography, see, this thing does not have a focal plane shutter in it. It has a leaf shutter in it, which is basically very, very similar, almost nearly identical to that of a aperture, of a lens. And oh my God, baby, what that means is that see what this little camera does, and why I've wanted it for some time. It makes you scream like a schoolgirl. Is that not only will it sync, and I've got some test shots below, and these are the most boring test shots in the world, so don't be making fun of them, okay? It's just boring crud to give you an example. It will sync at any shutter speed. Doesn't matter if you're 4,000. You do have some issues that if you want to open all the way up on this camera, the X100T, or even the earlier version, the X100S, if you want to open all the way up at f2, that you'll have a little bit of vignetting. I've barely, at the worst extreme, barely noticed it, and I was looking for it over the past few days messing with this camera. It is extremely well made. It's made in Japan. So what is so amazing that this camera will make you squeal like a schoolgirl? And you'll see from the shots below that were taken in extremely bright noonday light. I mean, the sun was just beating down. I mean, it was hot as hell, and the sun was beating down like crazy. Some of the shots look like they were taken after dusk, but no, the sun was beating way the hell down. There is a built-in 3-stop ND filter in here. Let's say I'm taking a picture of someone, and I've got an example of this in the link below in the picture that I took. It's a picture of my mother, by the way. If you say anything bad about my mother, I'm going to smack you. Where she's strongly backlit. And what I did is I had the ND filter on, and then I had this is an old SB28 speedlight. It doesn't matter what speedlight it is. Doesn't matter. Any sort of freaking weird-ass speedlight that actually fire with a wireless trigger will work. At 4,000th up to, everything included, up to 4,000th of a second. I am able to get that really beautiful saturation of the subject, the person, and able to drop down that ambient light. It's about crushing the ambient light. When you talk to most photographers and you talk about, here's where you got two different types of photographers. You got the regular photographer and then you got the professional photographer. And the professional photographer, you talk about, they go, oh, crushing that ambient light. You know the last photo contest where one of the professional shooters named Bill Gekas was showing you a picture of his daughter on the beach, and he does all these things outdoors, not just outdoors, and you're wondering how is he getting that sort of harsh day saturation and compressing the dynamic range using an ND filter. I just turn on the ND filter, hit the button, and by using true, not high-speed sync where the actual flash is pulsed, but just a regular, this means you're able to drop some serious hardcore light. You see, with regular high-speed sync, with Canon, Nikon, and even with regular Fujis like the X-T1 and the X-T2 that is about to come out, and the X Pro 2, what you're doing is you're pulsing the light over a very short period of time, much faster than that. And you're not able to reach out that far. But with true high-speed sync, because this has a leaf shutter in it, this will make you scream like a schoolgirl. What is also incredibly important, and I have another example, but you see, these wonderful, I love Pulse Buff to death. I love them. Now those are IGBT controlled, that doesn't mean anything to most people, IGBT controlled studio strobes. Can't do high-speed sync with them. In a studio it doesn't really matter, you're controlling all the lighting. But with this leaf shutter on this camera, I can take these outside and use them wherever the hell I want and do real, genuine high-speed sync. Not only that, but because I'm not pulsing the light, I'm actually, dropping regular light. That means I don't have to output much power. When I don't have to output much power, that means I could use these on location and not suck a bunch of power off my battery packs. I'm not pulsing the light. It's just one, just like that. I'm able to compress the dynamic. I am able to make the harshest. I can go in the middle of the freaking Mojave Desert at 12 noon with the most awful harsh damn light at 12 noon, using this and dropping in turning on the 3-stop ND filter. Able to take a portraiture shot. Let's just say I was doing that in the most horrible, awful light. I'm able to crush, strangulate, destroy, obliterate to whatever degree that I want the ambient light, and then bring in that beautiful light. Because it is not a focal plane shutter, it is a leaf shutter in this camera, which makes it go, oh my god, oh my god, oh yes. That is why this camera will make you scream like a schoolgirl. Additionally, not only is this true high-speed sync flash photography, and I noticed that nobody else on YouTube is talking about this. I think there's like one video about this. Why is there only like 1 or 2 videos about this camera on YouTube? It doesn't make any sense. People are like, X100T. Yeah, it's got a fixed lens, 23mm, 35mm equivalent. Oh, what's so great about it? Leaf shutter, and someone's go, well, so what? It's got a leaf shutter. No, you don't understand, baby. You see these flash Q triggers? I love flash Q triggers. I've got a couple sets of flash Q triggers. A bunch of you bought flash Q. This is no implication against flash Q. This means the dumbest, stupidest, ignorant triggers on earth. And these do nothing other than send a signal to fire. Okay? Just whatever damn trigger it is that you got, the cheapest, not referring to these because these are awesome little triggers, the cheapest worthless piece of crap that you can imagine, if it sends a signal wirelessly to fire a flash, it will work at high speed sync. Not only high speed sync, but true high speed sync. THSS. Okay, we got HSS, high speed sync, and now we got what here, THSS. I've been wanting to make this videos for quite some time, but I had to wait till I found a deal on a Fuji X100T. And this camera is not cheap. This camera is $1,300. It's got a hybrid viewfinder, has a 3-stop ND filter that you can turn on or off, and it is a leaf shutter, and it is exquisite. And yes, it does have a fixed lens. This is a 23mm lens. It's equivalent of a 35mm lens. But when you can crush the ambient, you can do anything. And this means that you think, well, a 35mm, that's not a portraiture lens. Oh, really? Says who? Kiss my butt. I can use these Einstein units or my Pulse Buff studio strobes outdoor, and these don't do high-speed sync with any. I don't care if you got a Fuji X-T1 or the X-T2 is going to come out. I don't care if you got a Fuji X Pro 2. I don't care if you got a Canon. I don't care if you got a Nikon. I don't care what you got. It ain't going to high-speed sync with this. There is actually a trick where you actually can, with buying a bunch of expensive units, the results are very, very spotty. It's like throwing the dice. So you could, if you stood on your head and wore a tinfoil hat and like pointed your genitals to the, But the point is that these don't do high-speed sync. But with the leaf shutter in this camera, and I've got the proof below in the link, take a look at it. I'm shooting this camera with my Cyber Commander, and it would work with this too. It doesn't matter what damn trigger I used. At the fastest, see, at high power, there is a long duration flash pulse, but at low power, there's a super short flash duration pulse at 1/8,000th of a second. But no matter what I want to blast this at, I'm getting true high-speed sync with this camera, or with this speed light. Most of the shots in the links you see below are with this speed light. And that is why this camera will make you scream like a schoolgirl. A lot of people don't understand the importance of that, and then they see the shots that are done using that very, very special methodology of, you see, you don't understand. It's like I want to take a picture of Sally Sue, and the sun is behind her shoulder, and it is just beating right through the lens, and it's just pounding the piss out of the sensor, and there's no way that I can get, I'm going to dial my camera down to f2. There's no way on any other camera I'm going to open up all the way to f2 or whatever you got, and let that sun pour in over so-and-so's shoulder, and that enormous light come in. I can't do it. I can't speak, no. Much less take a shot of someone like that at distance. Because with regular high-speed sync, you're getting a lot less power because the flash is pulsing. Brrr. When a flash is pulsing, there's no way it can put out serious power. It actually could maybe once or twice, and the capacitors would explode. Boom! They're designed not to do that. They're actually designed not to explode. And they actually can't fill themselves up and drain themselves that fast. That's actually a technical limitation of capacitor charge and discharge. But with true high-speed sync, that's not an issue. That means I can reach out way far. And when I turn on my ND filter, I took some shots, and I'm showing it to you in the links. Check the links below, where I'm looking directly up almost into the sun, and there's some leaves that are in total shade, and I use this flash at low power, and I'm able to see the fluffy clouds. I have my 3-stop ND filter turned on, and I add a little fill flash, and you can't do that with any other camera. This is actually the perfect street camera too. So anyway, I want to show that to you. That is my new toy. I've been wanting to get one of these for quite some time. I finally found a deal on one. $1,300 new. This camera is not cheap. It is built like a breakout house. This is the cat's ass, the tits, and silk, sex, and sugar. But a lot of people don't understand what the big difference between high-speed sync and true high-speed sync is, and where that really makes a serious difference. When you're able to crush that ambient light, that means you could do anything. The photographers have always been limited by the golden hours. It's like you got to get up really early in the morning or go out really late at night to capture that amazing light. When you got true high-speed sync, you can go out in their crap light and make it look like dusk light. Now, it still won't have that orange glow that we all love, obviously, but you could use a filter. I could stick an orange gel filter on this to actually get that effect. But with this, that means you're not limited. That means that you have a lot more control with this camera than you do any other camera, and that is the tits. You may understand that, you may not, but I hope I made it simple, and check the links below, okay? Bye! Bye!